Dear viewers, my dear countrymen, specifically the people of West Bengal, I would like to ask you a very basic question. That being the Bengali, all the Bengalis had very historical, glorious past. They had been known for their logical judgment, their sense of reasoning, their sense of morality, ethical values, and liberalism. But unfortunately, all these things have become less important, less significant at the present situation. Why is so? Why is this transition from a very liberal and morally standard people are turned into very illogical and irrational people, those who are guided by their only politics, nothing else? Then, as a human being, what is the significance of being a human being? If you don't have that certain strength as a true human being, if you are not having the identity as a true Bengali, if you don't have the idea of a true intellectual person, what is the use of having certain way of living, having some secret job and having a certain standard of living and having a certain isolated group to have a talk and have a party, and ultimately at the end of the day, they are ending up in a certain seclusion of life where only the Hindus are given their priorities and Muslims are kept away of their jurisdictions of talking. And unfortunately, Muslims are not even treated as human beings, not treated as a respectable section of the society. Why is it so? Why is politics so overpowering the senses of the people of Bengal? I am really very shocked to see even the university and college level students, those who are supposed to be logical, those who are supposed to be rational, except some leftist minded students and educationists, the rest of the people have become so right-wing person. They have lost their identity as a logical and as an ethical person. Even they are believing in all idea, preoccupied idea, presupposed idea, and all fabricated idea which are being propounded by some fools, those who are not destined to become as any significant political leader in due course. Although they are having their utopian thought that they might be one day the chief minister or any other minister of this state, and one day they will hold the power as the absolute authority of these people of Bengal. But I have trust on that honorable standard of those Bengali people, those who are not that much biased. Maybe 30% or 34% or maximum 35 to 40% people are biased. But rest of the people are not biased. If the unbiased people are there in a certain group, if they use that certain moral standard and they use their certain noble thought to exercise their authority to cast their votes, then where these preoccupied fools will go? They will never be able to occupy power by any means, by hook or crook, because with the help of the police or army or any central forces, they cannot occupy power without the support of common people's vote. Then, if you count down all those people, those who are supposed to be the voter of all those critically illogical people, those who demand them as the supporter of Bharatiya Janata Party, or they are the staunch supporter of RSS, these people are living in the fool's paradise. They don't have that certain logical base to make people organized in such a manner that all people will go in their favor and they will carry on all sort of work that will be directed by all those leaders. Already we have noticed as a teacher of a RSS organized school, I noticed very closely from them that the basic objective of all those leaders, those who are the authoritative power people in RSS, they are all basically they believe in that feudalistic way of living. They still want to establish that feudalistic system of social organization where there would be a certain king above all, and below the king there would be a lot of barons, and below the archdukes, and there below the archdukes there will be a lot of dukes, and below the duke there will be a lot of barons, and below the barons there will be a lot of knights. And this is the structure of that organization which was being carried on in that feudalistic system. And in our country, that feudal lords are our the supreme authority in our government, in the form of Prime Minister, so-called Prime Minister Honorable, and so-called Chief Minister Honorable. They believe in that type of feudalistic system of administration, and because of that they do not honor the common voter from whom they have gained their power. They really don't have any right to demand for any specific prerogative authority, and they don't have any that type of standard of thought also to think for that type of power. Besides that, this age is not the age of the theocratic rulers. In the medieval age, the theocratic rulers were supported by those political thinkers, those who had their interest in the form of courtiers, and they used to support the king and the Nawab or those rulers just to gain their livelihood by doing the work of jesting. This practice of jesting is going on in our country too. A single person who was born in a chaiwala family, he is treated as if he is the samrat of entire undivided India. Like from Afghanistan to Silchar and from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, this is the area of that certain great lord, kingly lord. This type of practice are being shown here in order to just afford that position of a person who is simply born in a common family. And if that common person can become that much ambitious and that much interested in showing his own identity or asserting his identity as absolutely powerful person, this absolutism will ruin our country. Because no absolute ruler can make any sort of benefit for the common citizens. We already have seen that in a rich country like Iraq, the maximum benefit of getting the benefit of the national wealth, it was used by Saddam Hussein. Being a Muslim, showing namaz and doing all this work in mobilizing the people to support him and raise slogan in his favor, he too wanted to make a palace which had a similar aura like that of a heaven. Similar thing it was carried on by Gaddafi, General Gaddafi, and he too also wanted to make the Libyan people his slave, and he carried on his administration according to choice, like a ruler, like an aristocrat, like an autocrat rulers. The similar condition is being carried on presently by the North Korean ruler who neither have the quality nor have the moral standard to become the absolute ruler or authority. He is basically an insane person. And I do believe that most of the rulers, those who believe that they are having their absolute authority, they are insane by nature. They don't have any moral standard to think for the common people, and they don't have any moral standard to contribute for the benefit of the commoners. Then, if these things are carried on in our country too, in due course, this will lead our country towards further deterioration of the political situation. And a single person, although he is an issueless person, he does not have any child, but he will surely nominate another person who has children and all. He would be nominated as his successor. And this type of practice of that type of rule, autocratic rule, will continue in our country. I see some of the leaders, those who talk in parliament, as if they talk in such a way as if they are born and brought up in an aristocratic family, and their way of talking is not like a common gentleman. They talk in a very whimsical and very that type of overpowering manner where the other peoples are not honored. Neither not he, some of them have any standard to show as a gentle person, nor they have there any standard to think for the commoners. They believe that as if they have their absolute authority to run the administrative choice, and their words are like laws. These are all absolutely wrong things. Even the greatest ruler of all time, King Solomon, he of Egypt, he ran the administration with the most logical and liberal manner. He still never showed his audacity or any sort of pride in running the administration. And after that, following the footsteps, the Muslim Khalifas, those who are the rulers of Islamic countries, Islamic empire, after the demise of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, those four Khalifas, out of those four Khalifas, three Khalifas at least, they ran the administration as the most like a very common person, leading the life of a very ordinary person, neither showing the power nor showing any authority anyone else. As they believed in absolute liberalism, Islam, they ran the administration with their own that type of liberal attitude. Later on, under the rule of Muawiyah and his son Yazid, these two people deteriorated the Islamic countries that standard, and ultimately Islam got its little deterioration in the process of progress. Otherwise, the entire world could have been within the influence of the common people without using any arms and weapons. Those great leaders, other than Muawiyah, they sent many saintly persons. Those are the saintly persons, Peer, Paigambars, those peers and so on, they kept on inspiring people and influencing people by showing their absolute supernatural that authority and supernatural power to make people understand what Islam it was for the people and all. And because of that, Islam took its present shape. It was not expanded by using any weapons or arms. No war was fought except a few battles against the Quraysh of Makkah. And after that, entire world there had been no war at all. Then if this type of ruling system was carried on by the Islamic rulers, why not here in India? Why not that liberalism practiced in India? Why this absolutism is being practiced and this type of immoral politics are being so much authoritative in our country? I expect that most of the noble people, those who are having the noble mind and those who are having the noble identity to think positively and think liberally for the benefit of the commoners, they should think in these directions and inspire the commoner people, particularly the youngsters, to think in their directions and grow them up properly as the rationally and intellectually grown and developed people. If they grow them as intellectually and developed people, surely they will be the successful people in future, and they will create a new society where all will live in peace. I expect that make the youngsters learn how to live in peace, not by following the public practice of radicalism. Because radicalism is nothing but a destruction, and this practice of radicalism is being carried on by a huge number of population, and presently after 2014 onward, and this is the sign of the further destruction. It will have a very catastrophic end in future, and if this is not prevented now only, this tragic end will not be maintained, not be prevented. Thus, in order to prevent this type of tragic and that type of catastrophic end of our country's civilization, all should be very logical, should be very legal, they all should be very liberal by nature, and think in that direction, so that our new generation will be properly grown up, and they will be given their right direction to live peacefully in this noble world. Have a nice time, and think logically to make people understand what they should do and what not they should do. Because of that only I am discussing my ideas, sharing my ideas. If you like my ideas without being biased, if you are very liberal by nature, if you are having that liberal mind, please give your support by just giving your like and share my views towards others. And if you are new to my channel, then just subscribe it, so that whenever I will have a little talk with you, you will get a chance to have a commune with me. Because without getting that communication, you cannot commune our heart. So we stay joyfully and stay in a very nice environment to have a nice living style in our country, particularly in West Bengal. The people of West Bengal are basically very logical and liberal by nature, as I believed. Still, I believe that they should behave in that direction. Have a nice time, have a very nice life, and grow up your children, particularly the youngsters, properly as you desire to see them properly in due course. Thank you all. Have a nice time.